Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, or good morning, wherever you are in the world. This is Albert, and I'm here today just to share with you real quick Punk Panda. Share the next 10, 12 minutes with me, and I think you're going to see this is probably a concept that you've never seen before. I'm almost going to guarantee that. And it's probably one of the most exciting items that you've ever seen before. It's a simple messaging app. It's far from simple. It's very exciting. So just spend the next 10, 12 minutes with me to learn about Punk Panda. Use it, share it, own it. That is the slogan. Now, with Punk Panda, what we have is I want you to just sit back for a second and imagine that you had an app like WhatsApp or Telegram. And for the last few years while you were using it and sharing it, imagine that you were getting rewarded for it. And those rewards that you were getting every day, they actually gave you ownership in the success of the company. You know, WhatsApp sold to Facebook for 19 billion. Dropbox, their sharing service right now is valued at 10 billion. Zoom has jumped up to 98 billion. It's gone over 100% since COVID. Did you ever get paid for using or sharing any of them? More and more people are becoming concerned about who's listening when they're using these apps. How many times have you talked about something? And if you never realized it until today, this is your first time, you'll start seeing ads for it. What happens is there's little bots. And the bots are just listening for keywords. When they got that keyword like pregnant or puppy, you'll start seeing advertising for expecting mothers, best food for your puppy. So sometimes we do have to be a little bit careful about who has access to our messages, conversations, and images. And I think many of us know, unfortunately, that we are the product. There's data harvesting, and they gather the data and they sell it to third parties. Well, we're the world's first messaging app that we pay you to share it. It's totally free. It rewards you in Punk Panda tokens multiple times a day. And this is what's really cool. It's got a military grade encryption protocol. It protects your personal privacy and data security. And nobody, and I mean nobody, no government, nobody can have access to your private data, your messaging, photos inside that app. It's like a Bitcoin. You have a private key. Unless you give that private key to somebody, nobody's getting in there. The more you use it, share it, the more company tokens you'll earn. So this is how it happens. There's a smart contract, and you'll find out later that smart contract is going to be running for the next 15 years. It will mint a brand new block of token every 30 minutes. And when you use the app, it's keeping track of that. And that's all it's keeping track of, just the usage, not what you're using or anything like that, just usage. Well, that usage tells us you're contributing more to the community, so you're earning tokens. Well, when you share the app, you have an invite code. You give that code to somebody, they download the app. They didn't have to spend any money, but you'll receive more tokens. If you hold the tokens inside the app, hold them inside of a staked digital wallet, you'll receive more tokens on the app. Or we have a thing that's called Punk Panda Farm, where you can also stake them. So once again, our model is very, very simple. Use it, share it, own it. 275 million will be the max supply of Punk Panda. Right now, as we speak, we have a pre-sale that is going on at the punkpandafarm.com. It started at 10 cents. We're currently at 33 cents. And we're going to keep going until we get to $1. And that will be the day and time that we mark. And then 3 or 4 days later, we will have a public listing on Pancake. Listen, you're going to just earn the Panda tokens right from your phone. And we do this by what's called proof of stake and proof of Panda Pals. And you might be saying, well, what's Panda Pals? Well, Panda Pals is simply you just sharing the app saying, you know what? In my area where I live, when you run into somebody, an old friend, something, you know, this thing, Punk Panda, is becoming very popular. It's a very safe way for me to carry around my messages and photos, and I don't have to worry about other people harvesting my data and stuff. But forget about that. Every 30 minutes, because I use this and I've shared it with other people, I receive tokens, and they have real value to them, real fiat value, because I can convert them. Look, right now, one token is 33 cents. And I got 10 of these in the last 30 minutes. That's already $3.30 every 30 minutes that I'm receiving. As I said, the supply schedule will be minted over 15 years. And then we're going to have a halving schedule. And the reason we do this is we always want to kind of keep a low supply and a high demand. So the halving schedule will help us with that over the next 15 years. Total supply, 275 million. Well, we have some that are pre-mined because right now we have the cell, founders and team, founding contributors. So we have a whole tokenomics to this, and we show people exactly what the lock periods will be, what the withdrawal rates will be. And then we have 15 years of mining, 210 million, and we'll be mining them. Actually, minting is the better word. It's a smart contract, and it's actually creating them every 30 minutes. We have 4 phases that we're going to go through with the actual mining schedule. On the very first year, every 30 minutes, 2,100 blocks will be delivered. So how do they get delivered? Well, they're going to get delivered, 1,050 of them, to people that have a Panda Pals team. So you're saying, what's a Panda Pals team? A Panda Pals team is anybody that you've referred your invitation code to. They download the app, they're on your team. Actually, they're kind of what we would call our best friend generation team. And now they start introducing it. Well, it's kind of like a second cousin. And then the Panda Pals just keeps going out and out, just like your family keeps growing and growing into, second cousins, third cousins. And it goes out 12 wide, 12 deep. Okay. Now, what happens here is that this is going to give you what's called an X factor. We will look at all your Panda Pals that are on those first 12 levels. We add up the usage time. We add up any subscriptions that might be done. And now this is giving you what's called your X factor. So when those 1,050 tokens come minted down out of the smart contract, you'll know what your share is compared to what everybody else's share is. It's going to ratio out all of those 1,050, and it's going to ratio them out, biggest Panda Pals team down to the smallest Panda Pals team. Guess what? Also, if you're holding tokens, it is going to ratio out 485 of them to whoever's holding the most tokens down to whoever's holding the least amount of tokens. We're also going to go over to the farm. Anybody that's holding tokens there, we're going to do the same thing. Ratio them out from biggest to smallest, and then 15% goes to development, future gas fees on the smart contract, on, etc. Things that we can't see right now. What we're actually big data. You see, these 4 companies right here, Zoom, Viper, Dropbox, WhatsApp, they all had a couple things in common. First, just like us, almost all the services that they had were available for free, and then you could upgrade to subscriptions. Very small percentage ever really upgrade and pay for the products. Most people like the freemium, such as Dropbox. Only 2% of their people actually pay for a subscription. Viper, Zoom, most of their stuff is free, and then you can increase the quality and the amount of time and what you can custom your needs. So we're going to be very happy with our free models that we have, going and working our way up to where we have subscriptions. And we're expecting to have maybe 4 or 5% of everybody that will pay subscriptions. The other 96%, they're going to do things for free. Now, anybody at Zoom, Viper, Dropbox, you see all these companies, when they started with about 1 million registrations and they got there within their first 1 year, all of them exploded. And that just seems to be the magic springboard. And that's what our first target is here at Punk Panda. Get to 1 million registrations. Springboards us over the next 4 to 5 years to getting to 400 to 600 million. And that usually will value you somewhere between 18 to 20 billion. And as you can see right now, WhatsApp sold for 19 billion. Zoom is valued at 98 billion right now. Well, we believe that within a few short years that we at Punk Panda, that we can hit 50 billion and have that 400 to 500 million. Plus, we have a token that has value, and you're going to see all of its values here in just a second. Well, once again, here's our token. It's a utility token. That means it has a use right away. And that's what I love about this. You're going to see here that our Panda products are a lot like replacing many of the things that you do now. All of you probably use WeChat, WhatsApp, or Facebook Messenger for your messaging. And it's not so convenient to send big files, but ours is, because you could send 128 megabyte. That means about a 15 to 20-minute video. You can't do that on WhatsApp. Everything is encrypted. It's military encrypted. And the other thing that we have there is we have the stickers and we have the Panda GIFs. So this is all to do with our messaging app. Now, after the messaging app is in the full launch, when we say, hey, all the kinks and all the bugs are worked out, we've launched now, but some things like syncing contacts and things like that aren't working really efficiently. But in about 5 more days, full launch, we know that everything will be working fine. And you know what? Then we're going to roll out another product, and it's going to be called Panda Post. And at that moment, we become a true utility token. You can take the tokens that we've been giving you and pay for an upgrade for a subscription if you want to. You can pay for stickers. Okay. Soon we're going to have what's called Panda Play. Well, this is going to be all sorts of video games that you'll be able to play inside the app. And that will be one of the biggest sources of revenue that we have. And then, of course, we'll have our Panda Meet. We won't have to go on Zoom anymore because we'll have our own Zoom-like features on Panda Meet. So here's all the Panda products. The first one that we're going to release, which is already released, is our Panda app. Now, I want you to think about that. How many crypto companies do you look at? How many investment companies do you look at when they say, we're raising this money now, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go out and actually build the product. Our product is already done. And once again, it just makes sense. It's a product that everybody is using every single day around the world, just billions of people. You got the encrypted instant messaging. You're going to be able to, you can do voice calls, video calls. Everybody's telling me the voice calls and video calls here are so clear. They don't drop. But once again, we don't need to go out there and say, hey, mine's better than yours or anything like that. We have a really simple message. When you use mine, you get paid. When you use theirs, you don't. All things being equal, that's the tiebreaker. Panda Post, Panda Meet, Panda Vault. I'm going to show you a roadmap here in a second. Panda Post is a file transfer system that goes through email. It's a great way for corporations to track where their emails are at any given moment. It's also a great way to only allow certain individuals to open certain sections that they're authorized for. And you can actually see which city, which building they're actually in while they're doing it. This is Panda Meet. This would be just like Zoom. And we're going to be very excited to bring this to market. It's very clear. Nobody can hack into the system. You know that your meetings are very safe. And here's Panda Vault. Panda Vault is, you know, you've just created the greatest invention in the world and you want to store it. You want to make sure it's safe, that you don't lose it. Maybe it's the private keys to your Bitcoin wallet. You'd put it in this vault. The glass gets shattered. It gets spread out all over the world on several different servers. And you only need about 20% of the servers to withstand a world catastrophe. And you can put all the files back together. Panda Profit, Panda Play. These will be the two biggest sources of revenue. The most profit will come from these two right here. Panda Profit is, we have a DeFi farm. People will be able to earn interest and staking, and there's liquidity pools. And Panda Play. Well, we're going to have all sorts of NFT games. We're going to have 3D NFT games. They're all being developed for us right now. We're going to have a simple Unity games that we can play through the app. But then we're going to have all sorts of sports fantasy. And it's the sports fantasy apps that will be coming inside our app that's actually going to change the industry. Not only have we changed the industry here, we'll be changing the industry of that. And we'll share that with you in just, you know, maybe 2 or 3 months. So once again, here's the Panda Play. NFT market is just globally exploding. And NFTs, wouldn't it be cool to see some of these Punk Pandas as NFTs? Huh? Guess what? You will very soon. User acquisition strategy. Look at what WhatsApp did. They went out, they got to 1 million in the first 1 year. You know, 4 years later, as almost 5 years later, they're 400 million users. Their users were only paying a $1 a year subscription, and they sold for $19 billion. But both the founders left WhatsApp due to concerns of Facebook data sharing with other companies. Just an interesting thing. This company right here, Pi, nobody knows what the value of the token is. Nobody even knows what it's going to do. Nobody even knows what it's worth. But 25 million people are on there every day clicking claim your Pi every single day. Once they start, they get their phone out, and every day they go click to keep on mining the Pi. And they're not even sure what they're mining or how much it's worth or anything or what its use will be. And then this is interesting because a Dropbox is a little bit antiquated. Ours is like very up to date, and our Panda Post is just like a Dropbox. You can keep millions of megabytes of file services inside this, but 2.2%, and they're valued. They're valued at way over $10 billion. Only having 2% of their people actually subscribe for subscriptions. Now, this is our roadmap, and every single thing that's on this roadmap, we will easily achieve. There's some things that we'll achieve much quicker than what you actually see here. So right now it's Q4, the messaging app, mega transfer file, all of that is out. We're probably about 5 or 6 days away from having a brand new version from iOS, Apple approved, and that brand new version will make things much simpler on the Apple. The Google or Android has been doing very well. And then we have the Panda Pro Post, and that's the file share service. And that makes us a true utility token right then and there. See, the Panda app with messaging and the mega file transfer, that's all free. Nobody ever has to pay anything. The Panda Pro, though, in the Panda Pro, you got the Panda Post. Well, if you like to have stickers so you can send back people back, hearts and things like that inside the Panda messaging app, maybe a group of stickers is going to be like $1. So that'd be just like one Punk Panda token. Our private sale is going on right now. We're at 34 cents, I believe. And we're going to keep the sale going until we reach $1. And then we'll be announcing what our first game will be here soon. That's going to be exciting. And our second game will definitely be an NFT game. And that's going to happen in Q1, 2022. We will be listed much quicker than Q1, 2022. But we'll be listing on Pancake. And then Q2, 2022, it'll be a proud moment because this is a very complicated system to build. Very few people can actually do it. And with the security that we have sitting behind it. It's been an amazing journey with this, and it will be very robust when we release this, our Panda Meet video conferencing app. And then we have the Panda Vault. So all of these have the free model to them. In addition to that, we are a true utility token. And that is one of the things that I want to talk to you right now before we leave off, is that we are one of the 25 or maybe even 30 or maybe even 50. If you ask this question to 50 different people that had projects going on that may or may not involve any type of crypto, you would ask them, how do you expect to keep the Punk Panda token holding or increase its value over time? Very simple. We designed these 6 steps I'm going to share with you next to ensure from the very start that we can hold the value or increase the value. Tokens are mined over a 15-year period. We got 3 half lives, so that will always keep the supply lower. So where can the supply come from? It can't come from anywhere else. It must be minted on the smart contract. There's no way to oversaturate the supply. We have what's called a 48-hour rule. That means when the smart contract has delivered tokens into your digital wallet, and now you've got quite a few in there, and you want to withdraw them, you slide the button over to say unstake, because automatically they're put in there staked. So unstake, you're going to wait 48 hours, make your withdrawal, and then stake your wallet again. Well, during that 48 hours, our smart contract cannot and will not deliver to an unstaked wallet because we are on the Binance Smart Chain. There's a small flaw in the way that you go around that is you absolutely never with a smart contract deliver to an unstaked wallet. So all of our wallets are digital and they are staked 48 hours. That means you don't get any rewards during that time period. So it's an incentive for you to hold and an incentive for you not to sell. Now, if you need them though, but you can. On day one, when that smart contract comes out, And as people accumulate the tokens, they can take them all out, go sell them right away. There's no holding period or anything. DeFi and staking, well, you can go to Punk Panda Farm, and this was set up as an alternative. And maybe 1% of our members, maybe 0.5% of our members will be going over there, and they'll be looking at the types of interest that they could earn on the DeFi farm, the kind of liquidity pools that they would be able to, and the type of pools that they themselves could start. So it's going to be a very creative farm, and it's going to also be very let's just leave it at creative, because there's going to be NFTs that's going to be able to come out of there also. Okay, so company buyback. That means that every single time somebody buys a sticker, we're talking about the actual revenue. We're not talking about the profit or net profits or anything. Somebody buys $10 worth of stickers. That means 30 cents is going to go back out over to Pancake, the exchange, or any exchange we may be on, and we're going to buy back the tokens, and we're going to keep them in a wallet. Whether we decide to burn them or not will kind of depend on what the market is doing over the next 2 to 3 years. We might have to put them back out on the market because we have so many products that are going to create such a demand. We're going to be very cautious in the way that we balance and counterbalance so things don't get out of control one way or the other. Token lock and withdrawal limits. All the founders, all of the ambassador founders, contributors, pre-sale purchasers, they have their tokens locked for a period of time. And it's a very conservative withdrawal limit, okay? And it can only be withdrawn once a month. And we have that list for you that's available. We are a utility token. That means that this token, as soon as I deliver it to you, you can use it for things you were probably going to spend money on anyway, such as video games, Panda Play, to have a better experience. Conferencing, if you upgrade in any sort of conferencing system, maybe you're going to buy stickers, maybe you weren't, Panda Post. And the big thing is like the sports fantasy apps that we're developing and having them go out. We have some very exciting times ahead of us. So what I'd like to do at this time is I would just like to say thank you. Get back with the person that introduced you to this. Thank them, because in the long run, this is what's going to happen. We are going to meet a lot of people all over the world, and we are going to bring in more. This company, this Punk Panda, this fabulous messaging app is going to introduce more people to the world of crypto than any other company before or since. We have the ability. Yes, we're starting, and we talk to some crypto people and we talk to some MLM people because things like this get them very excited. Lots of things get them excited. But the one thing that makes this one different, they never have to ask anybody for any money. You see, once that pre-sale is done, there's really nothing else for people to actually to go out and market. What it is you're just marketing the messaging app. Well, when somebody downloads the app and starts using it, yes, you're going to receive tokens for that based on your X factor, based upon how many tokens you already have staked. But the person didn't have to pay any money to actually download and get started. And now they're going to start staking their tokens. And when they introduce people, they don't have to pay any money. So we've seen people over the last 1 week that has said, you know what? I would never do anything like network marketing again. I would never do any crypto again. I've lost. They've dusted off their shoes. They're getting up and they're going out and talking to people again. And basically they're just messaging them and say, hey, have you heard of this Punk Panda? Because actually it's very simple. I could have done this presentation in 5 to 10 minutes and it would have made sense for a lot of people. I just wanted to share enough information with you so you'd be a little bit better informed. So I want to thank everybody for taking the time that you spent with me here today. And like, as I said, simply just get back to the person that invited you, take their invite code, put it into the registration of the app when it asks for it. It's going to ask for it at the very end, and enjoy. This is Punk Panda out. Everybody have a beautiful day.